This is a Learning Commons instructional video. This video is on a program called AirServer, which you can use to wirelessly display your iPad screen on a computer. You can start by going to the AirServer page of www.airserverapp.com/en/download. This will let you either download a trial version or one of the paid versions of this app. I suggest you download the trial version and give it a shot, and then you can come back and you can buy it later if it's a program that you like. Once you've downloaded the install file, just double click to launch it, and you'll be walked through a wizard to install the program, and this works the same as all the other install programs that you've done before. Once you've installed the program, you're going to be asked to activate it. Now if you're using the download trial version, you just put in your email address and you can use the program for 7 days. If you did one of the purchase options, at this point you would copy and paste the activation code that they sent you in an email. Now that the program's installed, let's go ahead and give it a shot. Now this is the desktop of my computer, and at the bottom here you can see the AirServer icon. From here you can shut down this program if you want, or you can go to the Settings tab. Here you have the computer name. You can put a password access if you want, but you don't really need it. And then you have the final options. Audio options here is you can select which way to display the audio. This is an option you won't use very much, but you do have the ability to output the audio from your iPad separate from the computer. Useful if you have someone speaking over the computer, like over an ITV, while you are also showing your iPad. Again, this won't happen very often, so just leaving it as system default is probably going to be your best option. You can also change some of the display settings. If you have multiple monitors on one computer, you can select which monitor to show the AirServer program on, and you can select a different resolution and what is set for that monitor. This has its purposes. Again, if you have a guest speaker on one monitor and you want to have the AirServer shown on the different monitor, you can do that here, but since there's only one monitor in each room, it's pretty much the only option you're going to need to do. And then mirroring, this is the actual act of showing the iPad on the computer. You can optimize it for different iOS devices, for iPhones or iPads. You can use the new iPad or iPad 2 optimization, or you can use the projector option of 768. But if you just leave it on any device, which they recommend and I do too, it pretty much works for all the devices anyways. Besides optimizing, here you can also select a slow network. What that does is it cuts out the animations of moving around menus and it just shows the actual change. It's nice if the network's bogging down a little bit. Next is post-processing. Here you can change how the iPad screen looks on the computer separate from on the actual iPad screen. I'll show you this a little bit later once we actually connect the iPad though. Last option is updates, and you want to make sure you always have automatic check for updates. So now I'm going to actually connect my iPad. You won't see the iPad screen here yet until it's actually connected to the computer, but then I'll show you how I did that. You can see AirServer pop up in its own window, and here is the actual iPad screen. It's activated from double tapping your home screen button at the very bottom of the screen. That brings up the little menu. But from the AirServer window here, I can go to File and I can close it. I can do Always on Top or Full Screen. Full Screen view is nice. As you can see, it cuts out the background. All you see is the iPad screen. It shows all your animations, and it'll auto-rotate as you move your iPad around. Just hit Exit on the computer keyboard to exit out of full screen. The other view option you have here is you can do Always on Top. What this means is the AirServer menu is on top of everything else, the little window here. So if I open up other folders, AirServer still stays on top. This is great, so if you want your iPad on top of everything, regardless of what's happening, that's great. If you turn it off so you can open and navigate folders, you can see that the AirServer gets put behind all the folders. You can turn it back on. Always on top works best. And you also have the option to go into the settings. These are the same settings as if you access them in the toolbar. But let's look at the post-processing here quick. I can select brightness and change the brightness of the iPad, or I can select contrast and change that. And this is only the way it looks on the computer. There's nothing actually changing on the iPad screen itself. I'm actually going to up the contrast here a little bit. I think it makes the icons a little easier to find on the screen. Now to just double check how it looks in full screen, I'll just go back up to the View tab and select Full Screen. And it looks pretty good. I can go ahead and rotate my iPad to try both landscape and portrait view. Looks really cool. And to access the menu again, I can double click the home button on the bottom of the iPad. I can scroll through, select my different apps, and I can go ahead and I can open the AirServer control here and just shut the mirror off. And I'll just show you quick a really cool feature of the full screen is if you close your iPad while in full screen and then you reconnect it, it reconnects in the full screen. So if you want to show a PowerPoint full screen and your iPad, you can switch back and forth without having to go into the menu system again. It's really a pretty cool program to have. So that is a quick look at the AirServer app that you can download on your computer to show your iPad screen wirelessly on your computer. If you have any other questions, please stop into the Learning Resource Center.